Hi everyone, it's Serene from Serenity Secrets, and I just had my last meal of the day, giant salad and some roasted fish. And I was thinking that maybe I should just share some tips on managing cravings with you because I do receive some questions from time to time from some of you, okay, who are curious about what do I eat on a day-to-day basis and all that. So I'm not really going to go into that because that really changes depending on um, what exactly I'm doing for that day, my activity levels, and also based on the advice of my fitness trainer. Okay, but what I will talk about is how to manage cravings, especially sugar cravings. Okay, so first of all, as a disclaimer, I'm not a nutritionist. Okay, so if you have specific questions on nutrition or any confusion with regards to that, do consult a trained expert on that. Okay, whatever that I'm sharing is just purely based on my experience, my observations. Okay, and only because some of you are curious to know. Okay, and maybe it may help you directly or indirectly, right? So some of you would already know that I've got a very sweet tooth. All right, I've always had that. Okay, I love chocolate, especially cheesecake, ice cream, all kinds of pastries. And growing up, okay, it was sort of like the love language for my family members to sort of show their love via food, and I sort of developed that taste and just that craving for sweet things, okay? And it has stuck around and haunted me for years, okay, even till now, okay? And in fact, if some of you watch some of my past YouTube videos, you would come across a few of them where you just see me devouring cakes and donuts and stuff like that. And I just want you to know that I'm obviously a real person, okay? I'm not this robot who's always eating healthy, and also in the hope that I will be relatable to some of you who struggle with these issues, okay? So having said that, because I'm so much into fitness and wellness, okay, I've been always trying to do more research, experiment with different options, and try to sort of be very self-aware and discipline myself to cultivate better eating habits. Okay, because food is literally medicine. It has an impact not just on your physical appearance, but also on your mental health and your emotional well-being. Okay, in terms of how it affects even your ability to focus, your ability to have energy, okay, to do your tasks on a day-to-day basis, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there's nothing superficial about your diet or food. Okay, it really goes more than just looking good. Okay, beyond looking good, right? So the first tip that I have for you in terms of dealing with your cravings is you need to be prepared. Okay, preparation is key. You need to know what you're going to eat when, so that you do not just leave yourself hungry for hours and hours and then you eat the most random of things when you suddenly become super hungry and you've got this massive craving and you can't even think straight and you just give in to it, to this craving. Okay, so you need to have a plan in mind. Generally, what are you going to have for your lunch, for your dinner? What are the healthier options that would make you feel good, not just taste something that tastes good, right? And the second tip that I have for you is, especially with regards to sugar, if you're like me and you've got a very sweet tooth, you can find for sugar substitutes such as stevia or even a monk fruit sweetener, and that is going to significantly reduce your overall calorie intake, okay, assuming that you keep everything else constant and you don't go overboard eating something else, okay? So you can look for creative ways of sweetening your meals, okay, or even creating dessert, cakes, biscuits, or whatever, using these sugar alternatives, okay? And the last tip that I have for you for now is very often, okay, in our society, in our culture, we tend to reward ourselves with food, with drinks, right? And it is something that is so deeply socialized that we often don't even think twice about it. When we meet our friends, when we want to have a good time, we often think that, oh, I need to eat something, I need to drink something, right? And it's part of our culture, okay? But do consider other ways of rewarding yourself or other ways of having a good time, because it is not necessary that it's not necessarily something that we need to depend on food on. Okay, for example, you can just go for a massage. Okay, you can go for a nice walk. You can go to the beach. You can go for a swim. Okay, you can read a good book. You can watch a movie. All right, you can treat yourself to something else, a pedicure, manicure. You can go to a concert or something like that. And sometimes it's as simple as taking a nap, okay? And when we have very, very strong emotions, very often when we give in to cravings, there's some underlying emotion that is bubbling within. Okay, very often it is stress, it is anxiety, okay, that leads to all these binge eating episodes. And what we need to do is to be very aware of that, okay, and realize that these emotions, they come and they go. And ask yourself the bigger questions, how will eating this make me feel? Not just when I'm eating it and I have that immediate instant gratification, but how is it going to make me feel a few hours later, or no, or maybe even the next day? Is it going to give me a lot of water retention? Is it going to make me feel bloated? Is it going to be making me feel more fatigued? Is it going to affect my concentration? And when we ask ourselves these bigger questions and we make it a habit to do that, we are slowly able to attack these bad habits, and do something that is more sustainable. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here. And I'm not saying that you should never ever eat a cake or a chocolate again. I'm sure I will at some point. But more of, I just want to leave you with some tips that I hope would help you, especially if you are struggling to manage these cravings. Okay, and I've been there, done that, and it's really a work in progress. It's not something that you do one time and then you automatically, you feel like, oh, I found it, I found a solution and it's just going to be smooth sailing from here. It's really something that you need to constantly reflect on and trust that there will be better solutions and you will arrive at those solutions at the right time. Okay, so I hope this has been useful, and have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll speak to you when I speak to you next.